Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on a very, very busy Wednesday at Hallis Hall, the 53-man roster. Really the real 53-man roster as I adjust my hood here. Wow, that was way out of whack. Nice little Pins and Aces. I had to go Pins and Aces hoodie day. It's like cold. It's not cold. It's just...
You need a hoodie. You need a hoodie type of weather.
But like a real hoodie would have been too much. We were walking back from the practice facility or the practice fields earlier, and it was like too hot. And then you're too cold. It's just a weird day out there today. Starting to feel like fall, but Pins and Aces came through. Anyway, Adam Hoge, Nicholas Moreano with you. We saw some of practice. We got a practice squad, waiver wire additions. Guys that have been moved on, guys, as we told you on yesterday's show, that were on the 53 yesterday that are no longer there. We heard from Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningam today. Got some interesting stuff to bring you from them as well. So it's, Nick, how we feeling? A little bit of a mad dash to get here. Maybe a couple minutes late. We're ready to go, though.
We're ready to go. I, for some reason, have a massive headache, but we are going to give you all the takeaways from this press conference. Took an ibuprofen before when I was at Hallis Hall. Got water. It's going to go away as we continue breaking down everything that came out of all the press conferences. We spoke to a few players today, so got a lot to get to.
Yeah, that headache is just a result of Bragg's incessantly tweeting from his vacation is really what that is. I'm dealing with it too. I don't know what to tell you.
He's committed.
All right. A couple things to tell you out the top. Today is the last day to get in on this Die Hard deal. We do not drop the prices on our Die Hard memberships very often. This is special for the football season starting. We want to get you guys in. We hear from it all the time. I mean, a lot of you guys are Die Hards already, but there are definitely some people, and we totally get it. Wish the price point was a little bit cheaper. This is your opportunity. It is $60 for the year. You get a free t-shirt, which is worth $30 to begin with. So right there, you're getting half of the value right off the bat with a free t-shirt. And on top of that, you're getting 20% off all merchandise, all events, our tailgates. So if you're planning on coming to our tailgates, you want to be a diehard because they're going to be cheaper. And you get my newsletter, which we sent out to everybody today just as sort of a sample. But diehards, you get the Bears Things newsletter too. Happy hours. Next Tuesday is going to be our next happy hour for our diehards. It's going to be Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. It's basically a Zoom meeting with us. You just get to hang out. We grab a couple beverages. We talk football. Ask us anything you want. It's not a show. It's just an interactive conversation. So those are all perks of being a diehard. And now is the time to get in if you're not already. So please go to allchgo.com/diehard and sign up. And if you're looking for more information on the tailgates, that's on the events page as well. So it's all there for you. Don't want to spend too much time on all that stuff. Do want to jump in on the news. We'll talk a little bit about the additions and then get into the press conferences, I think. So we have the additions on the roster from yesterday that you knew there was going to be some, but the biggest of which, and this is one that made a lot of sense. I think his name came up on the podcast yesterday. If not, it should have. But punt returner Trent Taylor was signed, and he was not a waiver wire claim. Just to clear that up, I know some people are like, no, that's not a claim. That is a roster signing because he's a vested veteran. And then the two waiver claims were Khalid Kareem and a defensive end, which we're going to get into that because the Bears ended up waiving Terrell Lewis and making that swap. And then safety Quindell Johnson came over from the Rams. I admittedly don't know a ton about him at this point, but they waived A.J. Thomas. I would imagine for both of those guys, they could end up back on the practice squad if they clear waivers. There's a whole nother waiver wire 24-hour period here, and there's still 6 spots as it stands right now. Let's start with Trent Taylor, okay? This is a big addition. This is a guy that Mr. Special Teams here, your returner, that's a starter to me. And this is a big hole that I thought was still on the roster. They needed a dependable guy. They needed somebody that could, at minimum, do what Dante Pettis was doing, which before was just like, hey, at least know he's going to catch the ball, right? But Trent Taylor it was one of the better punt returners in the league in terms of return yardage too. So he gives you some juice after he catches it. This is an upgrade over Dante Pettis, and he's trustworthy in catching the ball, which makes him an upgrade over Velus Jones or Tyler Scott, who they're going to continue to work on. But this just makes all the sense of the world, especially Nick, when you consider he has a history with Richard Hightower in San Francisco.
Yeah, and I'd like the one word that when Ryan Poles was asked what he likes about Trent Taylor, the first word he said was consistency. And that's the exact opposite, Adam, what we have seen out of the punt return position since Eberflus and Ryan Poles got to the Bears organization. So you get somebody who has a lot of experience doing it. He kind of joked that he can go grab a snack, go to the bathroom, and feel confident that Trent Taylor's going to make the catch there. Right here, consistency when the ball gets punted, you can go grab a snack and go to the bathroom and come back, and you feel confident about it. Again, talking about Trent Taylor and his ability to return punts. And, I thought too, Adam, as Ryan Poles was asked about Velus, he kept saying he still needs to get more comfortable with it. It's like, how much longer can you keep, letting that third round draft pick that Velus Jones Jr. was try to get comfortable with something that clearly it's not natural to him. So that's just a big question for me as this season goes on. And, Trent Taylor, he is the punt returner. He's the number one punt returner on this team as of right now. And he was already in the building today, according to, Trent Taylor's Twitter. He tweeted it out. But yeah, that is significant news. And I think Bears fans should feel a lot more confident at the punt returner position, just having Trent Taylor on this team.
Absolutely. This is an upgrade, and a fair question being asked in the comments. I see it. You should always ask this question anytime a player is available. Why is he available, right? And so in Trent Taylor's case, let's just consider the fact he's coming from the Bengals. He is an undersized slot, right? So he's not, I think he's only 5'8", right? I mean,
my size. Let's go.
Yeah. So, the Bengals have a pretty good roster. I honestly don't know. I'm looking at the depth chart. It looks like Charlie Jones is their punt returner and kick returner. Yep.
Iowa, Purdue.
We went to both?
Yep, he started at Iowa. They couldn't obviously utilize his talent there, so then he goes to Purdue and goes off and shows what good of a receiver. And he was a good punt returner when he was at Iowa, so that makes sense why you would get Trent Taylor out of there.
Oh, that's right. He's a rookie. He's a fourth-round pick. So there's your answer, and he can do both. So, look, it's the same reason why the Bears, in a perfect world, want Velus Jones to do both. You don't have to waste a roster spot on another returner, and unfortunately, that's just not where they are. The Bengals were able to accomplish that, so they move on. They go younger at the position. That's why he's available. But with the history with Hightower, the need on this roster right now, this one made too much sense. It was staring right at everybody, even on Bears Twitter. Shout out Bears Twitter. You guys were all over this too. Braggs' people out there, they saw it. They knew this was a fit, and the Bears went out and got it done. So I think it's a good signing, the dependability factor, but also the juice factor. I don't know if he's going to score a touchdown, but you want to get more out of that return game than Dante Pettis was giving you. So this is an upgrade. It's a good signing, and it was definitely a big need for the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, he averaged 9.7 yards per punt return. Again, he doesn't have to go out there and score touchdowns. He's never done that at that position. But at least Adam, that you have somebody that's going to field punts. He's going to make the right decision, whether or not to fair catch or let the ball bounce to the end zone. And he has a chance to actually put your offense in a better position. So, again, that was a smart move by the Bears to go out and get somebody. Honestly, the Bears probably wouldn't want to be in that position if Velus was their guy, to be completely honest. But he's not, and now you go get somebody that's reliable at the position.
All right, couple super chats. I know one is on Trent Taylor. Whichever way you want to go here, Law, is good. I know we got some super chats to get to. Brandon Janisic off the top, $5. Cancer-free. That's awesome, Brandon. Love hearing that. He says, bear down, guys. Also, is there any validity about Mooney on the trade block? That was addressed today by Ryan Poles, unsolicited, off the top. Wanted to make it very clear that he never looked into trading Darnell Mooney. So that one ran rampant a couple days ago. He wanted to shoot that down. He also cleared up that, and this was actually something that I really just got lost in translation. And he wanted to make it clear that Travis Gibson did not ask for a trade, which was actually, if you read my newsletter, speaking of the newsletter off the top, I put that in there this morning too. That I think was something that kind of got some people read the report the wrong way. It was never even reported, quite frankly, that he requested a trade. It was reported that Travis Gibson was given permission to request a trade. And there is a difference there because basically it matters because it's dirty and actually trying to do them a solid, which is, look, we're in a tough spot here. We can't keep you. You call the agent, you say, look, we're not going to be able to keep your client, but we want to give him an opportunity. Maybe this can be a win-win for both of us. Obviously, as a team, you want to get something back, but if you guys can make some phone calls and work out a good trade situation, then he can land in a place he wants to be, as opposed to possibly getting claimed off waivers by perhaps another 4-3 team, and it's an awkward position for the guy. So that I do think was important to clean up. They cleaned it up. That's fine. I actually got a phone call on my way home from a source on a different team that was trying to get information on that because they wanted to make sure that he wasn't requesting a trade. So it was something that went around the league and matters to Gibson's reputation because some teams don't want to sometimes deal with a player that's asking out, and that's not what happened here. So I think that was important to clear up. And Travis Gibson, I don't think he got claimed, right? So he's probably free to end up on a practice squad somewhere, and we'll see where that is. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think look, Ryan Poles, said he was he loved, not exact wording, but he really liked Travis Gibson, the person, and it just came down to a scheme fit, you guys. He said he's probably better suited, was more productive in a 3-4 as opposed to a 4-3. So when looking, what this all came down to, that's what it was, a scheme fit. And, I think for Travis, he has never come across as that kind of person that, has bad character or anything like that. All the times I've spoken to him in the locker room. So wish him nothing but the best, and hopefully he finds a new team, is able to continue his NFL career. But yeah, it just came down to a scheme fit.
Yeah. All right. And there was another super chat that was, I was going to go to the one on Taylor. That's cool. Ben Vieira, 1999. Sorry for spelling names wrong last time. Love listening to you guys on the way to work every morning at 5. Braggs is still the GOAT, and the show is not the same without him. Thinking about becoming a diehard here in Maryland. Do it.
Gotta do it. Yeah.
Now's the time.
Diehard.
Now's the time to do it. Got the sale through the end of today on diehard memberships. We can argue about Braggs being the GOAT later.
Debatable.
He's the GOAT of Bears Twitter.
Oh, yeah, because he's never off Twitter.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. DD $5 went full meatball. Die Hard last night. 20% off tailgates and a free shirt for $60. Come on. Yeah, it's the best deal. I don't know if this has been addressed on other shows. Maybe Lawrence can pop in here, but, long time, our friend of the show, Naked Guy, is a Die Hard now.
He's right out there. He's not out there right now.
Oh.
He's not there now, but he is watching, and he did become a diehard yesterday, and I just love it. I mean, it's this is exactly what CHGO is all about. We want you to be kind of part of our community, and there's nothing more communal than Naked Guy or Shirtless Dark Guy, as the Hawks guys call him, or Shirtless Wonder, as the Bulls guys call him. The fact that he's bringing things onto his balcony now, for the Blackhawks show, he put a neon Blackhawk sign on his balcony while the show was on.
That's awesome.
And now it's gone. He had a Sox jersey on there the other day. It's pretty cool. So I definitely agree. Now's the best time to sign up. $60. Come on.
Do it.
Well, that's how I heard from him, because he's a diehard now and he gets my newsletter in the morning, and you can reply to my newsletter if you want. And he did, and he signed it, Love Shirtless Wonder. So it was great. Cool. Yeah. So he's out there supporting us, and we appreciate it. We appreciate everybody, all our diehards that are supporting us. It's how we're spreading the word on CHGO. Let's take Isaac's super chat here too, since I teased it, and then we'll save a couple for later as well. Isaac, $5. Go Cubs, go! I guess they just got a big win over the Brewers. It sounds like based on I'm just the chat room on YouTube right now.
3-2 Cubs win.
There you go. And then Isaac asked, "What role did you bet on the Brewers?"
I bet on the Cubs, but of course I parlayed it with the Sox losing, and the freaking God, stupid Sox. They ruin everything. But go ahead.
True.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. What role in the offense do you see for Taylor, and how does it affect wide receiver 4, 5, 6? Great question. I think they have 7 wideouts on the roster as it stands right now, and not all those guys can be active on game day. If I had to pick right now, and I know fans aren't going to probably like this, let's say 2 of them are inactive.
We're going with 2.
If I go with 5 active wide receivers on game day, I think the 2 guys inactive would actually be Tyler Scott and Equanimous St. Brown.
I'm with you on Tyler. I wonder if you put Velus, like if he's not punt returning and he is a niche role, maybe early on it's not Velus, but once Trent learns this offense a little bit more, I could see
who's kick returning then.
Good point.
See, I think and this is why I wanted to bring this up, because I know there's fans out there that are just like done with Velus Jones. And here's the thing. If you don't want to take the leap of faith on the offense stuff, I'm okay with that. Now, I do think the Bears, and I would encourage Bears fans to do this too, if you want to, go back, watch the end of the season. Velus Jones made some plays at the end of last season. He actually had a couple really nice games. And I really do think that that's probably, and perhaps this sometimes happens, you hold on to something throughout the offseason, small sample size, you end up being wrong about it. Maybe that's going to end up being a mistake here. Or maybe it's exactly what they were hoping to see him offensively, and it's going to be what takes off this year with Velus. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But I do think that people are not giving him enough credit for being a good kick returner.
Yeah, he was one of the best at it. If you look at the stats, he was one of the best ones. So it's a good point by you, Adam.
I think he's out there as the kick returner. I think that job to me is not in doubt unless they don't put enough in the offense for him in a given week, and they feel like they can only keep one of those guys as a returner. But if they're gonna go with Taylor over Tyler, that's why my brain just like fired weirdly. I was trying to like spit that out. Over Tyler Scott, then I think that means Tyler Scott's inactive, at least to start the year.
Yeah, I could see that, Adam. I think he's still someone like you still need to learn this offense, and you want to get the most reliable guys out there. So I could see like a scenario where Tyler Scott, maybe especially early on in the season, is one of the guys inactive. But again, that's not to say that he won't work out or anything like that. It's just you need time as a rookie wide receiver. And like these guys that have been in the offense are still developing that exactly where they need to be. You saw that with Velus last season. So it'll take some time for him.
Now, Scott did have a really nice kick return last week, which matters. He also got pounded twice on 2 returns. And I'm worried about him. Yeah, I'm worried about him staying healthy. And I just saw that comment up there that Scott gives you more on special teams. Don't forget, Velus is a good gunner too. Is that the only thing he does? He if you want to quibble about the offensive stuff, I'm with you. I want to see it. He obviously, as a special teams coordinator, I would not trust him right now at all on punt return. That's a no-go for me. But kick return, 100%. He's my guy. And I think that's how you got to look at this right now. So it's an interesting situation the Bears have found themselves in. Not ideal. They probably didn't want to be in a position where they had to basically claim a punt returner. But they're going to find a way to get Trent Taylor in the offense somehow too, and work him in. And he is a slot receiver, so that is a possibility. Low 6 here, $4.99. I also don't have a problem keeping Valus and Dom Rob over others. Need to see a full second season to get a better picture of their value, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you know, Ryan Poles had an interesting comment here. I think Courtney Cronin asked him about what have you learned about cutting ties versus trying to give players more time to fit in. And what Ryan Poles said, it's a delicate balance for sure. There's some commitments that you do have to give it the full time frame to make it work. I've seen guys struggle early and then something clicks. And I'm thinking, when I hear that, I'm immediately thinking like a Velus Jones Jr. Because yes, you bring in a guy like Trent Taylor and you almost want to see it work out, but you've also seen Ryan Poles move on from guys like Alex Leatherwood, PJ Walker. But that, when he said that in response to that question, I'm like, that's Velus to me. So I think there is some validity to wanting to see guys play out and see what a year two can do for them.
Yeah. The punt return part is going to be hard to work out, though, in the season because he can catch as many as he wants in practice, but until he does it in the game, and I don't know they can trust him right now to do it in a game. So that might literally, if he does well on offense and does well in the kick return game this year, that might have to be something that you work on again next off season, or you just drop it altogether. We'll have to see. All right, plenty more to get to, especially from the press conferences as well. I also want to talk about these new guys and the decisions they made at defensive end. So loaded show here, but want to make sure you know that if you are in the market for a new vehicle, you got to go see my guy Ray at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fox Lake. They have joined the CHGO team. They've been awesome partners. Ray was actually just texting me a little while ago as well. He's a huge Bears fan. We're going to hear him again next week on the show. But at Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and find unforgettable savings. Right now, during the Make This the Summer event at Ray CDJR in Fox Lake, you'll be able to take up to 20% off MSRP on select new 2023 Ram 1500 models. And yeah, you're thinking, all right, but right now the interest rates might be too high right now. Not a great time to buy. Well, that's not the case at Ray CDJR because now through August 31st, running out of time here, but you got through the next couple days, you'll be able to get limited time, 0% financing for 72 months on select new models. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram because they are the only team we recommend. If you go there, please tell them CHGO sent you. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR only in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com today, serving the community since 1963.
Go check out Ray Chevrolet and Fox Lake, you guys. And you also have to check out Splash Sports. CHGO has a weekly pickaxe and NFL Survivor contest for everyone to participate for real money. And how to enter, it's super simple. Head to splashsports.com/CHGO. You can also see the link in the description below and sign up. Deposit cash to get started. And it's just $10 to enter. $10 to enter, and CHGO weekly NFL pickaxe contest. So you look at the range of prizes. First prize, $2,700. Second prize, $1,800. Third prize, $1,350. Goes all the way to 10th prize with a $270. So there's a wide range of prizes that you can win here. And you also have the CHGO Survivor contest. Those are always so much fun to be a part of. A $4,500 winner take all prize. Doesn't get any better than that. And we'll be running weekly contests all year. So be sure to keep that link, again, below in the description handy. And if you want to run your own contest, tired of bringing the commission on leagues, chasing people down with none of the reward, you can sign up to be a commissioner right through our link and earn money for the contest you're already running with friends and family. So head to splashsports.com/CHGO to join in. We'll have different contests coming out. So we are stoked to compete with you and against all of you. Be sure to click, again, that link in the description below. So after you're done watching this, go check it out.
All right, so a big decision made today. Originally, Terrell Lewis was on the 53-man roster, and the Bears went out and claimed a different player from the Colts, defensive end Khalid Kareem, played at Notre Dame. And I think what was probably most important here was they saw him in Indianapolis in those joint practices and in the preseason game, and he played really well. I tweeted out the stats earlier. I don't have them in front of me right now, but he had a sack, he had two quarterback hits, a TFL, and 5 tackles. So I do remember them. It was a pretty good game. And that obviously made an impression on this front office and, quite frankly, probably Matt Eberflus and Alan Williams as well. So I thought this quote today was very interesting on them adding Khalid Kareem from Bears assistant general manager Ian Cunningam on why the Bears went with Kareem over Terrell Lewis. And Ian Cunningham said, I feel like Kareem showed a little bit more of what we're looking for in terms of playing the run, playing the pass. He showed a little bit more of the scheme fit that our defensive staff was looking for. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's been in Indy for a little bit, right, Nick?
I can check that really quick. I thought he only had the one season in Indy. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm checking the stats right now.
We'll double check that, but I'm just trying to figure out if there's a history there.
2022, yeah. So he was in Cincinnati since 2020, 2021, and then 2022 he was in Indy.
Okay, so they weren't there with him, but obviously made an impression in the preseason, and a couple of people out of Indy were saying his entire preseason was pretty good. It wasn't just that one game against the Bears. So there you have it. I think one takeaway here is, as much as the Bears need, elite pass rushers or any type of pressure generated, this coaching staff cares if you can play the run too. And
absolutely,
you can't just be a one-trick pony. Now, they obviously thought Terrell Lewis did enough to keep him over Travis Gibson. And again, if they can move him to the practice squad, if he clears waivers, I think that they would do that. But interesting decision that was made.
Adam, think about Rasheem Green too. Probably another guy that also plays the run maybe a little bit better than he is a pass rusher. So when you think about the struggles that this Bears defense had last season at stopping anybody running the football, they are making it an emphasis that whether it's Khalid Kareem or Rasheem Green, I'm going to get those mixed up at some point throughout the season.
They're making this hard on us.
They definitely are. They're putting guys that they want on the edges to stop the run and then, mix it up however they want to do to get the pass rush going. But they're making it clear that is as important, if not more than, and then also getting to the quarterback. So, and the Bears were historically bad last season at stopping the run, but that's what I see when I see a guy like Rasheem Green. I know a lot of Bears fans are questioning, why is he here over Travis Gibson and Terrell Lewis? Well, that's why. The Bears also value stopping the run, and I think those two guys are better suited to do that in relation, and also in combination to maybe provide a little bit of pass rush as well.
Yeah, so that'll be, I guess, interesting to see if Terrell Lewis comes back. If he ends up elsewhere, we'll have to wait and see. But that is we kept talking about between Travis Gibson and Terrell Lewis, which one would they keep? Now, technically, right now, they're both off the roster. Yep. So, by the way, with Gibson, maybe keep an eye on the Seahawks, I would say, is a possible landing spot for him. Travis Gibson.
Why am I blanking on the defensive coordinator that was here with the Bears?
Well, Sean Desai's now in Philly.
Oh, okay. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
I don't know who the Seahawks. I don't know who the Seahawks DC is right now. Actually, I probably.
You know what? Let me put out when Travis Gibson, the Falcons make so much sense too. Ryan Pace just grabbing all the ex-Bears. Like come on, Travis Gibson, join the squad.
That would. Although they finally got. Oh, Clint Hurt, former Bear, is No, he had been the defensive coordinator. I should have remembered that. Yeah, so he was with the Bears back in the he originally started when Trestman was still the head coach, and then Vic Fangio came in, and he was pretty well respected coaching the outside linebackers there. So he didn't overlap with Gibson as all, but you could see the fit there better, the scheme fit with that defense. So that would make a lot of sense. Just something to keep an eye on as he moves on. All right. The other new guy we got to talk about is Dan Feeney. Mr. Feeney.
Yes.
Big news. Nick has seen Boy Meets World.
I have, yes. I just completely forgot the actual name of it. But when I saw everyone mentioning me, how have you not seen it? I'm like, I have seen Boy Meets World. So just, I don't know if I watched all of it, but I definitely have seen it.
You were at least aware of who Topanga was.
Yes, I was aware.
Which, yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Okay, good. But Dan Feeney in the mix, obviously has a reputation around the league. It was funny to hear Justin Jones was asked for a scouting report already on Dan Feeney. And I think we have this ready for you to throw up on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Justin Jones says, loves football and he loves beer. And then Cole Kmet was asked about Feeney, if he could confirm that. And he said, I can confirm the latter for sure. He loves beer. I guess Kmet played with Dan Feeney at a golf outing somewhat recently. The bond there perhaps being another local kid, Sandberg.
Yep. They love their local kids, and they love their kids from Notre Dame and just the Chicagoland area.
Yeah. And can we put that up one more time, Law? I mean, just look at this human being. The mullet, the hockey sweater. Law's going to appreciate that I said sweater. And he's chugging a beer and crushing it on his head. It's bold.
Hopefully,
Dan Feeney. Can I play the video of him entering Hallis Hall? Because I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Sure. Yeah,
this was fun.
Dan Feeney.
What's up, Bear Nation? Dan Feeney here. Just got to Hallis Hall, man. Looks incredible. Can't wait to get started. And let's go. The Bears. Let's get it, baby. What's up?
That was good.
Amazing.
Well, it's going to be such a character in the locker room.
I mean, wait. If there was ever a player that Bears fans could embrace,
they're going to love Feeney.
Dan Feeney. Until he gives up a sack.
Yeah.
But
too many beers, Feeney.
This will be interesting, Nick, to see how the offensive line shakes out here. But I'll say this: it would not completely shock me if Dan Feeney is starting at center against the Packers.
Yeah, we got a chance to go to practice, and I posted some pictures. But yeah, Dan Feeney. He's a versatile inside offensive lineman is how Ryan Poles and I think Ian Cunningam put it today. So provides versatility for an offensive line that I think for the most part is getting healthy outside of Tevin Jenkins, who Ryan Poles said is more week to week still.
Well, and Poles said they're working on who's going to be playing where, and they should have that figured out by the time they hit the practice field next week. It's officially week 1 next week already.
Let's go.
Which is crazy to think about. So there is Dan Feeney. All right. Got to hit some other things from the press conferences today as well, and talk about Tyson Bagent a little bit because we got to talk to him today. But take another quick break here and let you know about, if I can find it, Nutrafol. Yes. Nutrafol, you don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health because Nutrafol provides a whole body health approach for men that promotes healthier hair. No drugs, no compromises, just better hair. Men think losing their hair is inevitable. Take control of your hair's future with Nutrafol's science-backed hair growth supplement for men. Did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, but it doesn't have to be your fate. You can get ahead of thinning with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. And it works. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking Nutrafol men's hair growth supplements. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code, you know what it is, CHGO. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men, spelled NUTRAFOL. Nutrafol.com/men. Enter promo code CHGO. That's Nutrafol.com/men. Promo code CHGO.
Check out Nutrafol, you guys, and you also got to check out Lewis University. At Lewis University, many of their students are adults, just like you. Many have full-time jobs and/or families, and all of them chose Lewis's supportive educational community to help make their transition back to school as easy as possible to earn a respective degree. It's 35 miles southwest of Chicago in Romeoville, ranked as one of U.S. News and World Report's top-tier colleges, and Lewis partners with numerous employers for tuition discounts and offers evening, online, and blended formats to help you balance work, family, and education. And faculty, they bring real-world experience and instruction to the classroom, which is immediately relevant to your career, and they can offer support and academic resources for adult students. And whether you're looking to complete your bachelor's or master's degree or enroll in a professional certificate program, Lewis has the right program for you. Lewis offers several career-focused programs that will set you up for success. We're just going to highlight one of them for you right here: criminal justice and public safety. First responders receive 20% off tuition discount, and tuition is deferred for 6 weeks after the end of each class. And of course, you have your adult undergraduate degrees like business analytics, business programs, technology programs. They got it. You just got to look into everything that Lewis has to offer. And you can discover how a degree from Lewis can help you build a better world. Learn more at lewisu.edu/you can do this. And one more time, that's lewisu.edu/you can do this.
All right. Bunch of other little nuggets and notes to get to from what was a busy day at Hallis Hall. So one thing I want to start with is the because I see it going on in the comments right now, just the attendance report from practice, because it's pretty much all we're allowed to report. But pretty much most of the team was out there. The guys that were still not practicing, Jaquan Brisker is obviously the biggest one. Doug Kramer not practicing, and
Dylan
Cole. And then Tevin Jenkins, obviously. And we'll talk about Tevin here in a second. But Lowe's 6 here, who's correcting me on how to say his username, I apologize. Lowe's 6, $4.99. Good to see most players participating today. But any idea, theories, what's going on with Brisker? I mean, I don't. And they haven't thrown out a lot. I have mentioned already on the show what I get worried about with Brisker, which I do not know is the case in this scenario, but the guy does have a concussion history and dealt with that last year and talked about it publicly. That's just a general fear, whether that's what's going on now or, happens again in the future.
Yeah, and well, so let's say concussion, like we hadn't seen Treston Ebner because of concussions. He wasn't even out there. We've at least seen Brisker,
yeah, true,
on the football field. So I wonder, again, is this something completely new? So I honestly have no idea, Lowe's, what Brisker is actually dealing with right now. But he again, when Ryan Poles was talking about injuries, nothing was long term, and only thing was Tevin Jenkins week to week. So it's a good question.
The big guy that returned today would be Chase Claypool out there practicing. So that was a good development. And again, if you're going to take Flus for what he said yesterday, the expectation is that everybody's going to be ready to go for the Packers. So maybe we'll see Brisker back on the practice field next week when they actually get into game prep. Otherwise, Tevin Jenkins is the one guy who will not be ready to go, and Ryan Poles confirmed that Tevin Jenkins will go on injured reserve. They actually have to clear one more roster spot officially for Trent Taylor. Trent Taylor, because he was being signed, not claimed off waivers. They have to clear another roster spot for him, and I would assume that's the move. Tevin Jenkins going on injured reserve. He will be designated to return. He can come back after 4 games, but the Bears will not have Tevin Jenkins for at least the first 4 games of the season. And when asked to kind of clarify, what happened there with Tevin, Ryan Poles kind of actually giggled a little bit and then, didn't want to go into any of that. So all we know is whatever it was, it happened down in Indy. And when they were, in between their joint practices and the game. and he's out for at least 4 games. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, he's out for Packers, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Broncos. I mean, obviously some pretty tough games on the schedule to start up the season for the Bears, but if you can get Tevin Jenkins to play the rest of the season, that's definitely going to be a big win for the Bears just to have that guard position solidified there.
Another thing I asked polls about today was where things stand with Jalen Johnson and Darnell Mooney. It was kind of an interesting answer. He almost started answering it and then kind of caught himself that he doesn't talk about contracts, which we get. But he said, we're taking that week by week. Don't really want to get into it because it creates a distraction for the entire year, which is interesting because it would only be a distraction for the entire year if they don't get a contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they get a contract, it's not a distraction. But he just said, we like those guys. We'd love to have them here long term, so we'll just have to stick with our plan. So, not sure what to take out of that, but go ahead,
Adam. I think it becomes a distraction if no progress is being made on both fronts, right? And then, maybe have an unhappy player playing out a very important season, obviously, for both these guys. But yeah, again, we'd love to have them long term. We'll see if they can come to an agreement that puts those players in a position to be with the Bears long term.
We got a super chat from the Duke. We should get into 1999. Coach Flus, do you take cream in your coffee on game days? Flus says, I'm not going to answer that. Goes to scheme and competitive advantage. Tell you after September 6th. I can't get over how stupidly secret the Bears are. That is from our guy, the Duke.
It's hilarious.
I always find this fascinating because a lot of times I feel like the fans are so split on this. Like, you'll hear from fans that are, look, as reporters, we're obviously annoyed with it, right? Like, we want answers to our questions. And then you'll hear from fans that are like, it's none of your business. Like, they get the competitive advantage or they get the privacy side of it with the players, and I fine. But then you also do get a lot of fans like the Duke here. They're like, what is the point of this? What was that?
That was Brady, my dog, who's been nice and sleeping the entire time and decided to just shake his head for no reason.
Oh,
but continue. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
the
no.
collar. Yep.
It's all good. It sounded like some money fell. That's what I thought. Hey, look, it's not Poppy the puppy barking during post game. So
very true.
Yeah. A couple other super chats here. Which direction we want to go in here, Law? Joe Calcagno, 199. The Nate Davis answers were very weird. Yeah, look, he's back practicing. Whatever's going on there, and Poles has now said it a couple times, actually, if you include his appearance on Hoge and Johns, that he's been dealing with some personal stuff. So, but yes, between not being a practice, between the press conference he gave a couple weeks ago, between the team not actually coming out and saying personal reasons, which you do sometimes, certainly on injury reports, you can put that down, why a guy misses practice. It is a little weird, Joe, and I understand it. But again, he's under the list of players that Flus expects to play against the Packers week 1. I think everybody would feel a little bit more comfortable, though, if they saw him play more football with this offensive line before the actual game, because they're going to have their hands full in the middle of that, the interior of that Packer D-line week 1, and it'll be interesting to watch.
It definitely will. When Ryan Poles was asked kind of several times about Nate, he said it was a combination of things he was dealing with, but I think the positive thing, I just feel like he's in a better place now. So that's kind of the update on Nate Davis, but I agree with you, Adam. Whatever that interior offensive line looks like come week 1, they need to get some reps together, some continuity, because they'll have their hands full against the Green Bay Packers.
And then one last thing on the injuries. Poles kind of admitted you could sense some frustration, I thought, with the amount of soft tissue issues that they had in camp. So he's still maintaining, like he said on Hoge and Johns, that they're ahead of where they were a year ago. But like it was different players this year dealing with that. So it sounds like something they're going to look into and hope it improves. But overall, they do seem very happy with the fact that there's only one player that they're going to miss here, and Tevin Jenkins, one starter at least, that is going to miss any significant time. And I think that is a plus, but it also does leave you a little nervous about, okay, well, how much of these soft tissue injuries are going to linger into the season? So all it takes is one play to re-aggravate something. And that is something at least I feel a little uneasy about going into the year.
No doubt about it. Like soft tissue injuries just straight up suck. Like there's no other way of like putting it. And like you said, it's easy to re-aggravate and deal with it for the longevity of a season. So hopefully the Bears can be on the better end of not having those just interrupt the progress, because that's exactly what happened with Chase Claypool, right? He was having a pretty good camp and putting stacks of practice together. Bam, hamstring goes. And then we don't really get to see him for the rest of the training camp preseason. So you just hope that that's not something that comes into play during the regular season. But as we all know, soft tissue injuries, they can be tricky and come up pretty often.
The other thing I wanted to mention from press conferences today is actually Tyson Bagent, the backup quarterback as of right now. And we got a super chat here from Mike Hoffman, 199. Tyson Bagent needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he better damn well be in Shepard's Hall of Fame.
I wonder if Bears fans feel differently about Tyson Bagent being in the Hall of Fame when he was asked what quarterbacks he likes, and the one guy he identified at him was Aaron Rodgers.
Number 12.
How are we feeling about that, Bears fans?
Or
I get it.
Number 8 now.
Yeah,
number 8. Number 8.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give him a pass. Aaron Rodgers, pretty good quarterback to look up to.
Did you see the clip of him talking smack to whoever the defensive lineman for the Giants was? Like he hit him after the play, kind of like nudged him.
Oh, in the preseason game the other day?
Yeah, I love that. That was great.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm assuming that's in. Oh, last night was Tuesday, so it probably came out last night on Hard Knocks. I did not watch last night's episode yet.
Okay,
I'll have to check it out.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it. And that's probably happens a lot more often where they're kind of going back at each other. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers basically saying, "Who are you?" Like I don't even know who you are, but you have to watch him. It's a good clip.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. It's been entertaining. Whatever your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, it's been an entertaining Hard Knocks, even if obviously it's been a giant PR spin too in support of Rodgers. All of those things can be true at the same time. When it comes to Bagent, though, I thought he kind of admitted he's surprised by this, right? That he's the backup, and he did say, thinking about the odds, that is pretty crazy. But then you could tell he has a tremendous amount of belief in himself, because he's like, it has always made sense to him. That's the way he put it. Also, I loved how he explained this, because he brought up how the odds, and you've probably seen those graphics. Probably everyone's somewhere seen the graphics of like the amount of players that play youth sports, and then the percentage that play varsity football in high school, and then the percentage of those players that make it to college football, and then the percentage of those players that even get drafted, and the percentage of those players who even stick on the 53-man roster, right? Like it's such a minute percentage of guys who actually make it, like Tyson Bagent just did. However, he went into this and he's like, yeah, but think about if you instead of like it being the entire population, you think about, okay, guys that fit a certain height, weight, right? Guys who could throw the ball a certain way, guys who have the high IQ to understand the game of football. It's like he started naming off all these attributes, and he's like, I've always looked at myself as someone who's got all of those. So if you look at like the percentage of the population that can actually check all those boxes, size, throwing ability, mental capacity for understanding the game, well, it's much more realistic that you don't need to put yourself down. Instead, you can look at it and be like, no, I am part of this small percentage that can make it. And it seems like he has that inner belief. I found that very interesting to hear him kind of turn that around. And then you heard Ian Cunningam, Nick, say that like they're walking out before that game against, was that the Titans game?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, he just seemed like he belonged there.
He does. It's how he, operates the offense at him. It's how he even goes about these press conferences. He has that moxie, that confidence in himself, and it shows on the football field and off of it. So he's a great story. And, he talks about too that he wants to be somebody for other D2 players or players at lower levels. Like you can kind of look up to Tyson Bagent now as someone that can succeed. You can do this. So yeah, Tyson Bagent's been a great story for the Bears, and I already got comments. I put out the picture of him in field, and it's like, oh, it's QB, it's QB1, and then it's the actual starting quarterback in Tyson Bagent. So I know a lot of Bears fans are excited that he's on this team and what he can still develop to be as he kind of goes through his NFL career.
Yeah, I just think it's a really cool story. I also find it very interesting, Nick, that both Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles were given the chance in the last 2 days to confirm he's the backup quarterback, and they haven't exactly done that. You can tell that they're leaving the door open for potentially another veteran to come in. And I even wonder, with Nathan Peterman going on the practice squad, if there really was a situation where Justin Fields were to go down, you can elevate Nathan Peterman and play Nathan Peterman.
Mm-hmm.
What they knew they could get Peterman to the practice squad, which by the way hasn't happened yet. They're still hoping to get that done, but there is a spot for him available if he wants it. Maybe he moves on. But it was much easier to get Peterman to the practice squad than Bagent.
For sure.
So obviously in a game, if Fields goes down, Bagent's got to go in. But if there's a week to prepare and okay, we got to play a backup. Now I think it would be foolish. And the Bears fans will lose their minds if Peterman played over Bagent. So I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it still could work that way. They just haven't fully gone all in on this idea that Bagent's definitely QB2.
No, they haven't. And like you said, they've had multiple opportunities to confirm that. But, Poles said, we take a look at everything. That's our plan right now when asked about Nathan Peterman being on the practice squad. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. But man, if Tyson Bagent really does have to play significant snaps in an actual game, I wonder like how, again, he operated it well in preseason, vanilla offense, things like that. It's going to change a lot. And what I did like one of the Bagent and his answer, like, how will you know if you'll be ready? It's like, well, once I get that playbook, I'm going to go into it, study it, know it, and things like that. Again, going back to that confidence he has in himself, like he's going to be prepared regardless of what the situation is. And right now it's being the backup quarterback, but in case something does have to happen, he knows exactly what he needs to do to be prepared for that situation if it comes to that.
So Cole Kmet also had a press conference today, and I asked Cole because I was just kind of curious about this. I know for me, it was really that week in Indy, right, where I started talking about on the show. I was like, I'm sort of just getting this feeling that he's past Peterman.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came out and he played as well as he did against the Colts. And then it was like, well, wait a minute, maybe this is a real competition. And then it was. So just another reason why teams like these joint practices, I think that week in Indianapolis proved to be huge for Tyson Bagent. And so I asked Cole, I was like, was there a moment in camp that this guy was starting to turn your heads a little bit and, within the team, not just us outsiders. And Cole Kmet was a very interesting person, I thought, to ask this question because remember, Bagent was like the fourth stringer early on in camp. He's not throwing to DJ Moore. He's not throwing to Cole Kmet. They're not even working together. But Cole said in Indianapolis, they got a one-on-one rep together. So they haven't really worked together at all in training camp. Now here's an opportunity. They're in the low red. That one day they did low red one-on-ones. And they called, what did he call it? A POW route or something like that. But it was basically a 4-step out that's supposed to split the two pylons. If you think about the front pylon, back pylon, cut it right in half, that's where the ball's supposed to be. That's where the route's supposed to go. And Tyson Bagent said to him, obviously before they ran the route, hey, because we have this space restricted, it's low area, I'm going to throw this a little bit more shallow than normal. So he basically adjusted the route for Cole Kmet, a veteran who just got this massive contract. You got rookie Tyson Bagent from Shepherd, D2 quarterback, rookie, undrafted, telling this established tight end, hey, this is what we're going to do here. And then he put the ball right on the money. So this was Cole Kmet telling us this story today. And he's like, that was the moment where it's like, okay, like, might have something here. And then obviously he went out and played very well against the Colts that week in the game.
Again, it just shows his understanding of the game for Tyson Bagent, knowing that, hey, look at this defense. This is how we need to adjust the route. But to say that to a veteran, again, I think that just shows that Tyson Bagent was ready to break out. He did against the Colts, the 92-yard, 17-play touchdown drive that they eventually led. He led the Bears on. So Tyson Bagent, he was just impressing. He was impressing for a while, but that was his breakout. The Colts, I guess, couple of stretches in the joint practices, and then obviously the game.
Yeah. So look, I'm still a little uneasy about an undrafted rookie beating the backup, but I think it's a great story. And he's going to continue to develop. And I tell you what, the one thing I really do feel like he has, based on a limited sample size, granted, but he seems to have that quick processing post snap. Quite frankly, the thing we're still waiting for Justin to prove is coming along. And that is something that's very hard to teach. So I'm going to get accused of laying the groundwork for replacing Justin there just for saying that. That's not at all the case. It's just reality. When you're looking at the scouting reports, what's there, that's one of the boxes he checks. Justin checks a million other boxes. Don't get me wrong. Very, very talented player. So, but we'll take this time in the preseason to appreciate an amazing story. And then obviously, hey, it's week 1 against the Packers. Justin Fields is the guy, and it'll be fun to see Justin take the field again next week. All right. Before let's close out the show with the rest of our super chats, obviously want to one more time remind you about the diehard situation going on this week and everything you get with being a CHGO diehard. But that says 48 hours only on the screen. It's really less than that because it is a 48-hour sale, and we are in the dying hours of this sale. I think you have until the rest of tonight, essentially, as we record this on Wednesday. You might be listening to the podcast. Diehard membership, $60. We've reduced the price. We've never done this before, so now's the opportunity to sign up. You get a free T-shirt that's worth $30 right off the bat, half the value of the membership. You also get 20% off all merch going forward and events as long as you are a CHGO diehard. So the thing really does pay for itself. On top of that, you get access to my Bears Things newsletter in your inbox and our CHGO diehard happy hours, which are virtual. I got a message from a diehard that was like, hey, or somebody who's, I think, thinking about becoming a diehard. He's like, I don't live in Chicago, so, getting 20% off these events, is there something else that, is a perk for me? And it's those virtual happy hours. Those are really just, we put those together really for all the Bears fans and sports fans that live across Chicago sports fans, I should say, that live across the country, because we know you're out there, and we know that this podcast is a big way that you guys stay connected with your team. So that's where we're going to keep delivering those virtual happy hours for you. And the first one is next Tuesday, 8:00 Central Time on Tuesday. Little week 1 happy hour for you. We're going to have a lot of fun and just an opportunity for you to interact with the CHGO Bears team as we jump into a game week. Should be a lot of fun. So get those diehard memberships done tonight. And for everybody, T-shirt sale going on right now. T-shirts and hats, they're all $24 right now, so they're discounted. However, if you're a diehard, you still get 20% off that as well. So another perk for you right there with the shirts and hat sale going on. Yeah, so many great perks, opportunities when you become a diehard. It's almost as good as, probably as equally as good as Shady Rays, you guys. And you can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price.
And Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn here at CHGO. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. I always keep my Shady Rays in my car, so wherever I'm going, I'm going to have, sunglasses that are not only going to make me look good, but protect my eyes while wearing them. And what's awesome is if you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they tell us to send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is going to give out the best deal this season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use that code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
All right. Last news item I had, and then I know we got at least one more super chat. Or at least a few more. Yeah, we got a few more. But before we get to those, I want to mention, did you see Jay Cutler is going to get another TV gig?
I did. Well, I saw it from your tweet, so that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I have been bummed by this for years now because Jay Cutler, when he retired, was supposed to be on the Fox broadcast team. And I still, to this day, believe he would be a very interesting, good analyst on TV. And then he ended up signing with the Dolphins, and then it all fell through, and then he never went back to Fox. So we've never been able to get that. But Jay Cutler is joining Inside the NFL, which some fans are going to know what that is and some aren't. But Inside the NFL has been on for years and years, and is like a go-to weekly studio show that's been on Showtime most recently. And this year's moving to the CW. Of all places, the CW is taking over Inside the NFL. They're trying to get into sports with Live as well. Whatever. That's where the show is going to air. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Ryan Clark is actually going to be the host. Cuddy is one of the analysts. Chris Long, Kyle's brother, is one of the analysts. He's very good. Who else was in there? I'm forgetting the other two. I don't have it in front of me right now. But Cuddy on TV. It's going to be interesting. Wait.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. I've always liked Jay Cutler, and I think he, when he gets on camera, even though he was on his ex-wife show, but I only tuned in to watch Jay Cutler. So looking forward to seeing how that goes, and that's a great cast, even just the guys that you mentioned just now, Adam. So I will definitely be tuning in and watching.
Chad Johnson and Shannon Crowder are the other two.
Wow. Okay. Yep. That's gonna be fun.
And ironically, this was the same show that Brandon Marshall was leaving the Bears for. You remember in 2014, the crazy season, Brandon Marshall was flying to New York every Tuesday on the Bears off day to go do this show. So now it's Cuddy's show.
Crazy.
All right, super chats. Let's just go in order from top to bottom as I'm looking at it. Ethan, $4.99. Y'all should do a monthly sub to diehards, like no discount, no shirt, just access to letter, happy hours, Discord, also a badge system for commenters. Bad job by me. I should also mention the Discord that's exclusive for our diehards. Ethan, man, this is way above my pay grade. I don't control the diehards. I think it's awesome that we have it, but we'll pass that along to we'll pass along the Braggs. We'll let Braggs deal with it.
Yes.
Lowe's 6, another super chat, $4.99. Poll said he thought he's plugged 75 to 80% of the roster holes. What positions do you think he views as not plugged on paper at this point? That's a very interesting question. How many of the holes do you think you've plugged? And I didn't really expect him to actually throw out a percentage. He did. I'm not going to hold him to it exactly because he, was just sort of guessing. But
I mean, you look at the interior offensive line.
Yeah.
It has to be there. Feels confident in the players. And I think they're still trying to figure that out at this point. But then what are we adding one more position to fill out the, I don't even know.
I mean, I think center is still a work in progress. One of the guard positions. I think the third wide receiver spot. I don't think he views.
Claypool.
I don't think he views that as filled yet. he's tried to fill it. I don't think he
True.
views as if he viewed that as filled, he would have given Claypool an extension already.
That is true.
Secondary, he probably looks at that as filled up. Yeah.
Yep, feels good. Linebacker
filled up
too.
I mean,
defense. I think it is like the defensive end because he has like Rasheem Green and why am I blanking on the one they just got earlier from the Colts? But
Khalid Kareem.
Yeah, there you go. Gosh, I have to get that down at some point. But
it's really Yannick Ngakoue and DeMarcus Walker.
That's true. I forget about Walker's and he was practicing today, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
So maybe not that position then. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interior D line too, until you really know what Jervon Dexter and Zach Pickens are. Yeah, it is interesting, but it still seems like the interior both defensive lines is where I would go with that, and adding more weapons for Justin Fields, at least that third wide receiver spot. But there's still options here that could emerge as being actual holes filled if it works out.
Sure.
All right, Kevin Carlson, $9.99. Just a thought for all of us fans. Let's just praise the team with positivity. When a bad outcome happens, let's support rather than bring out the boo birds. Stay positive, Bears fans. 2024 Super Bowl.
Bears, let's go.
Is that Braggs's burner account?
Kevin Carlson. Yes. Confirmed.
I think it is. That's what Braggs says about his golf game too. It's just, even if there's a bad outcome on the shot, just pretend it was a good shot and live in that reality.
One has hope, one doesn't though. So I'll let you debate which one that is.
All right. Appreciate all the super chats today, guys. Appreciate all the interaction on the show. Busy day at House Hall. And as it stands right now, I cannot tell you with definity when tomorrow's show is. We're still a little bit on limbo. I believe it'll either be at noon or 4 o'clock, depending on basically a guest we're trying to line up. So we'll communicate.
I'm hoping for 4. Let's just say that.
Follow us on Twitter, and we'll keep you posted there at CHGO_sports_Bears. Of course, Nick's at Nicholas Moreano. I'm at Adam Hoge. We will keep you posted on tomorrow's show, but we're hoping it's a good one. Nick and Will have Friday's show for you, as always, as we get kind of more in our game week routine here. So they will be here Friday at noon regardless. And then, Braggs and Carm are back next week.
Oh boy. Let's go. Week 1. It's here. We're going to need the full squad for everything going on.
All right. Last call for diehards. Get there tonight. Yes.
I have a last call. So our show is on right now, and we have like over 1,000 people watching live. The Cubs show is on. They've got less than that, but yet their likes are higher than ours.
Well, maybe they just like the Cubs. They just like the Cubs guys more than us.
People, quit yelling about Tyson Bagent being better than Fields or whatever you're doing in the chat. Just hit the like button. Like, come on. The show.
You got to beat the Cubs, even though they're on the hot streak right now.
Yeah. Going back to that last super chat, how about positivity? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Kevin Carlson.
Super simple.
Just listen to Kevin. Thumbs up. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. And we will talk to you tomorrow at some point. See you.
Adios.